I would encourage the audience as we interact with other people, can we leave those people in a better spot than we found them through the power of God working through us? Nothing we did, but can we have that interaction, and can we, I want to leave that conversation and then thinking, wow, like what just happened? Like I feel better. I feel motivated. I encourage each person. I'm huge on discipleship, mentorship, two kind of different things, but yeah, I want to encourage other people, pour into other people and help them step into everything that God has called them to be.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Big Hitters Podcast. I am so excited about today. We've got Greg Painter on. Greg is talking to us from his car today. And Greg is the founder of Legacy Home Group, as well as Desert Group Properties. Greg, thanks so much for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, awesome, Greg. Maybe let's just start here. I'm excited to talk kind of all things real estate, but maybe just give us, our audience, a little background on your story, kind of where you started, and then how you ended up starting Legacy Home Group and kind of what that process looked like.
Yeah, I was working. So I had worked 12 years for Starbucks Corporation, and we were hitting a recession. I was laying people off left and right. I was probably headed towards a heart attack. I was pushing almost 300 pounds on 5 different
No
medications.
way.
I loved my time there. My last 6 months was tough. Like I said, I was laying people off left and right, laying them off based on the amount of money they made. Because we're publicly traded, I knew where I sat in the nation of my salary. So I knew what was going to happen. Um, I wanted to leave, but I was so well compensated, I didn't have the guts to leave. Uh, so my wife had already been in real estate for about 2 years prior to that. So kind of seeing the writing on the wall, I started getting my real estate license because at the time too, I did not have a 4-year college degree. I couldn't even go to Target and get a job as a shift supervisor without a 4-year
Wow.
degree. So started going to real estate school. I had a date in mind when I was going to quit Starbucks. 3 months before that date, I got laid off. So it was a huge
Okay.
blessing in disguise, man. Because I don't know that I would have, again, had the guts to actually leave. Um, you know, right then we started buying houses too. So we started going to the courthouse, and my mom had given us $60,000. So
Okay.
in the day, you could do that. So we just went to the courthouse and we bought a house, not having any idea. Our goal
Heck
was not
yeah.
to lose money. So we bought a house. We made $10,000 on that house, and we were like, wow, this is great. And like back then, $10,000 on a house was a good deal. So we just started doing that more. I started selling, working with buyers and sellers also during that time. So it was kind of a mix of that. Started getting healthy also in the process of that. So it was a busy year. I lost 80 pounds somewhere in between that and about 3 years. 3 years, 7 months, 27 days was how long it took me to lose the weight. But yeah, started doing that, started flipping, started buying, started working with clients. Um, we just kept buying from like the courthouse. Being in the business, that at that point, by the time I was in the business about 3 or 4 years, deals started coming to us. So other real estate agents would bring us deals. They knew we paid cash for houses. We could match all the guys out there that were offering to pay cash for houses. So did that, and just it was interesting because having had worked for Starbucks, so training tools and systems were a big thing for them. So we
Oh,
started
for sure.
So we started looking for a brokerage in real estate. Like I wanted to work. I feel like I worked for the best of the best with Starbucks. So we chose to go with Keller Williams as our broker, and Keller Williams is all about training tools and systems. So it just made sense. I did a span of I spent 6 years running the Keller Williams office and running my real estate team. Uh,
Wow. Okay.
which was cool. I'm passionate about training and helping other people get in the business, and really not even in the business, just achieving their goals in life. So got to do that for 7 years while we were building a team. And then about 7 years into that, left that and just went into full-time real estate. By then we had a small portfolio of rental houses that we were working with and a pretty solid base of clientele. So we're not huge in real estate. So we usually close 24 to 30 deals a year. Um, we count units because we control units. We don't control dollars.
Okay.
Well, we can, but we don't. Um,
Sure.
so yeah, and we have two buyers agents on our team and an admin on our team, and then my wife does the listings and I do the buy side. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay. That's so cool. Well, there was a lot that was said there. I'm going to ask a couple additional questions. Just out of curiosity, so what was your secret to lose the weight? Was it just a workout plan and change up your diet, or was there something special you were doing?
so I also started that when I was 52 years old.
Okay.
I did not grow up in like a sports home or I just didn't grow up
Sure.
grew up on a
Yeah.
farm. We moved bales of hay for exercise. So in that process, I agreed to run a half a marathon, which if you
Okay.
think about that, at 285 pounds, I agreed to run a half a marathon. I
Dude, that
trained, so I
is.
joined a gym and I would walk in the gym, go to the
Mhm.
treadmill, walk a mile and walk out. And one of the guys there, he's in charge of the coaching program there. I got my free consultation and he hooked me up with this, I call him a kid. He was 21-year-old
Okay.
fitness trainer. And we spent the next 3.5 years together, him and I.
No way.
He taught me
Wow.
a ton about diet, nutrition. There was a lot of natural path, like I'm a big hormone, like natural path way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like a combination of, and no magic pill. I mean, so movement and nutrition and making sure that my body was in its perfect form of being able to do that. And it's funny because the
Yep.
whole time I didn't know how to do it, but I kept thinking there must be abs. Like I'm working out really hard. There's got to be abs and muscle under this fat.
Oh
So
yeah.
and lo and behold, there was, and it was funny because when I was all done, somebody looked at my. I did a DEXA scan, and they're like, "Oh, you can't lose body fat and gain muscle at the same time." And I go, "Oh, that's funny. I did.
Yeah.
I didn't know any different, dude. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know you weren't supposed to do it that way." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, those. So to me, diet, exercise, but hiring the right person to help me in that journey, man. Hiring a coach was critical. I've used
Mhm.
coaches my whole life, business, uh,
Yep.
especially in real estate. So it would just, to me, it would be the natural thing to hire a fitness coach.
Totally. I
Yeah,
love that. That's so good. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it seems like the answer is just get back to the basics, you know. But
yeah,
it's easier said than done. I mean, when life kind of happens, especially if you're a business owner and you're married and you got kids, I mean, the whole nine. It's just it can be a lot, and so I totally get that. What state were you guys buying your houses in?
Arizona.
You're in Arizona. Are you still in Arizona?
We're in Arizona. Yep,
Okay, okay. I was just
yep.
curious back then. Yeah, I mean that was a fantastic market to buy in. As far as I know, Arizona's kind of blown up the last several years, right?
So again, we did not know what we were doing. I had read some books, but we bought. I think we had 18 houses in our portfolio, and one of my friends came from Michigan. She owns 250 houses, and she looks at my portfolio. She's like, "You got to sell it all." And I'm like, "Okay, like you're smart. You've written books. I'll sell it all."
Mhm.
And then we start looking at it, and she goes, "What do you mean you bought a house for $70,000 and it's worth $450,000 now?"
Yep.
He didn't have this thing called equity increase.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was like, "Okay, never mind. Like cancel that."
Yeah.
Uh, And we never took into, you know what I knew? I knew we were going to buy houses. I knew we were going to get 15-year mortgages. I knew my renter was going to pay the house off. I never equated having the equity increase in it. So
Mm.
we have houses that we bought for, like, on my scratch, I seriously used like a cocktail napkin to etch this out. And the first house we sold, our first house that we ever bought, we sold it last year. And it happened exactly like the renter paid the mortgage. We built this equity. Like, it happened exactly the way it was supposed to happen, or the way we penciled it out um, to do that. So I always tell people there's things I don't care about when buying. Like, I don't really care about the price. I just care if the numbers are going to work. Uh,
Totally.
and that's what we've always looked at. But yeah, things still. I mean, it still works in Arizona. You know, our
Man, that's so cool.
yeah, yeah.
It's classic American dream story. I love it. That's so awesome.
You know, it's funny. So I had a very good friend too who looked at my portfolio, and we were all Dave Ramsey proud. We were all debt free and we didn't have any mortgages. And he's like, Greg, you want to get to this X amount of houses, but you're all debt free. You're never going to get there without grabbing some mortgages.
Yeah.
And I'm like, again, smart guy. I said, okay. A year later, I was in a meeting and I was thanking him for that hallway conversation.
Yeah.
And he pulled me aside later after the meeting. He's like, hey, Greg, he goes, I got to tell you something. He goes, I just thought that would work. I'd never actually seen it work. I was like,
Okay.
he's like, you were my guinea pig. But dude, he also changed the where we went from a financial
Yeah.
aspect. Like I doubled my portfolio because of him.
Mm.
And yeah, I
Wow.
don't know if he would have said, hey, I think this would work. I literally thought he had done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we joke about that because I'm like, dude, I'm so glad you cared enough about me though to say that and have me as your test guinea pig.
Totally. That's so funny. Wow. Okay. Well, maybe transitioning a little bit to talk more kind of about your day to day. So, what obviously real estate the past few years seems like has been a little bit of a struggle in general. What would you say has been going well recently for you guys, and what's maybe one kind of big pain point that y'all are trying to think through right now?
Man, I think our networking and our marketing. My wife is a master at so she is in a nationwide network where we get referrals. And
Okay.
they're very specific. Like, she is the only referral in the West Valley of Phoenix. She's it, one. Um, so our networking and referral base has been really strong. That's probably been the thing that has kept us afloat. Um, the struggle, since the 2.53% interest rate, what
Yeah.
I am no expert, but I'm smart enough to look at everything. So my theory is people bought their house, they got a 3% interest rate or 3.5, and they were like, wow, we're saving $1,200 a month. Let's go buy a new Escalade. And then
Yeah.
flash forward 5 years later, they have this huge car payment, a 3% interest, and they can't afford to move up.
Yep.
So our our normal 5 to 7 year um, working with our past clients has been stalled out, man. Like, our past clients
Mm.
aren't able to move right now. So that's
Mm-hmm.
probably the biggest pain point for us, because we work with a lot of past clients. Like, being in the
Yeah.
business so long, like, we've helped the grandparents, the mom and dad, and the grandkids, right? And we've
Totally.
helped them with multiple homes, but that has just stalled out, man. And the market in general, dude, we're also talking 100 plus days on the market when people are like, well, I want my house to sell in 10 days. I'm like, that's
Yep.
not the market we're in right now. So just getting that through into the public's knowledge, like proving it to them, right? Like, I have to prove to them through statistics, like, well, this is
Yep.
what's happening in your neighborhood. Um, so yeah, those are probably our biggest pain points. And then we just go back to we know that if you do an open house a week, it'll yield you a piece of business a month, right? We know if
Yep.
we talk to 20 of our past clients, it'll refer us a piece of business a month, right? So we know if we door knock, where we did a lot of door knocking back in the beginning, and we're back to door knocking because it works,
No
man.
way. Okay. I know.
Certain neighborhoods, and
Yeah.
more and more people are working from home now, so it's great that more and more people are at home.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's so
Yeah.
true. Just out of curiosity, so do your agents, uh, or in terms of like lead generation, are y'all kind of helping provide your agents with kind of traction and leads, or is it kind of solely up to them to try to kind of do lead generation on their own? How does that kind of model work within your company?
We're well, so for legacy home groups, we're providing 99% of the leads to them.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
it they understand that, and it has created a what's the word? Uh, they want to be with us, like they are appreciative
Yeah,
of that, right? Because sometimes people can look at that and be like, "Oh, well, you're taking X amount of money from me," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's my lead." Right?
thousand
They
percent.
don't have that attitude, and they've been, we've had two buyers agents with us 4+ years now. Uh, but yeah, in a perfect world, I would want them lead genning. Usually when agents can learn to lead gen, they'll leave you.
Yep,
If
exactly.
if I could
Yeah,
make my own business, I don't need you anymore.
yeah, exactly. That's so true. Yeah, I mean, everyone typically, it seems like, you get the occasional cousin or aunt or uncle or someone that wants to use you, but it is attractive, I feel like, if you have help on the lead gen side, because, I mean, it's just hard sometimes for an agent. You're trying to close deals and you're also trying to drum up your own leads. And you're exactly right. I think once someone gets good enough at it, it's like they probably would just go off on their own. So,
Yeah, which would be all great. I love to get people in that. I have no problem. I transitioning them through to that. Like I want their success.
yeah.
Their success comes through staying with us. I'm okay with that too.
Totally. Yep. You win, they win, everyone wins. So that's
Yep.
really cool. Maybe with some of the lead gen stuff, or I guess in general. So what? How have y'all been using AI, and where do you kind of feel like you've seen that be a helpful tool, kind of within your day to day?
Yeah. I know Andrew and I have had this discussion. We don't, man. For us, I
Mm-hmm.
have seen it with a lot of other agents that can generate a lot of business for that. I mean, we are old school grassroots door knocking. We work
Yeah.
in neighborhoods where people still pick up paper flyers. I know that seems insane, but we will get.
No, it works.
They're like, I
Yeah.
got your flyer at such and such a restaurant, and I'm like, you did? I picked up your business card. I'm like, nobody. If I gave you you wouldn't even take a business card from me. But
Yeah. Yeah.
like, I won't. I tell people, I'm like, I'm just gonna throw it in the trash. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. The age demographic that we go after is more apt to do it that way. Um, yeah. So we don't use a ton of that. I mean, if yeah, we just don't. I'm not opposed to it.
Totally.
We're working with a 32-year old kid right now that like he's going to help us. I know there's business to be had there, and I know that he can help us to land that. So
Totally. That's so
yeah,
cool. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because AI is kind of one of those things right now that I think a lot of people know I probably could utilize this more, or maybe there's a tool that could help, but I don't really know how it even works, and I don't really know where to start, and so I just kind of haven't actually worked with it yet. So
yeah,
which is totally understandable. It's still, as much as AI has grown, it is still somewhat new, I would say. So I've got a couple more thoughts on that. Maybe we can talk for a second once the podcast is over.
absolutely.
But that's really interesting. Well, cool. Let's maybe transition a little bit. We're doing good on time. Let's talk about Rise Up Kings, if you don't mind. So, just to give you a little context, so Andrew has been preaching Rise Up Kings to me for a minute now, and I've telling him in 2026 I will make it out there. I've heard it's life changing. So maybe speak to Rise Up Kings a little bit. How did you first hear about them, and what's kind of the impact they've had in your life?
Yeah, so I found Rise Up Kings on, or it found me through social media. I had a friend that attended it, and I saw on, I think it was on like Facebook, I saw that he attended, but we also hadn't talked in like 7 years. He was that kind of friend. So I started getting their ad. I clicked on it. Um, I was desiring change in my life. I was desiring to step into everything that God had called me to be. I felt like I was surrounded by a really great group of people that all looked exactly like me. So they looked at my
Mm,
life and they're like, your life is good. And I'm like, well, my life's good because it looks just like yours. We made
yep.
the same money. We had the same kids. We drove the same cars.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew that God had called me for more.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a really good life. So I clicked on the advertisement. Uh, the coach Luke gave me a call, and I'm sorry, it was Daniel. Coach Daniel gave me a call,
Okay.
and I remember, we talked through it, and I'm in sales, so I'm hearing him sell me, and I'm like, I'm not going to be sold on this. And I remember at
Yeah.
the end, I told him that. I said, yeah, I'm not going to be sold. And he goes, okay, here's the deal. He's like, you're either going to sign up or you're not. And he hung up on me. It was
Wow.
the takeaway. And I told my wife, I go, I don't know what this is, but I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
So I got told.
Wow. Okay.
Um,
So it
which
worked.
I joke about that because I'm so grateful, man. Because that moment, dude, it changed my life. Like I realized that my life was good. And I over the next months and years, I realized that God called me to greatness, not just
Mm-hmm.
goodness. So I was able to tap into like what God had called me to be. Um, I'll tell you a few things in Rise Up Kings. For me, it was a journey, man. Like I didn't go, and I always tell people this. I don't think Rise Up Kings is a magic pill, right? It's like, oh, here, go to Rise Up Kings, your life is going to be awesome.
Right.
No, go to Rise Up Kings. It's like it would be like you telling me joining the gym would change my life. I'm like, well, no, like actually working out at the gym would change my
You
life.
got to do the work. Yeah.
So yes, so I was willing to do the work at Rise Up Kings, and I started plugging away at it, man. I started touching those things that hurt, the
Mm.
things that brought me shame, the things that I didn't want to tell anybody else.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
and it was again. I watched other people, and I was like, man, like what's happening over there, right? But God's like, yeah, just pay attention, Greg. Like just stay in it.
Mm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
stayed in it, man. But I have a longer story where I could tell you the 890 times I tried to run away. Um,
Wow.
but just about every event I try to run away. Uh, but so I'll be right. December is my 5-year anniversary with Rise Up Kings,
Okay.
and September 5th of this year I got my biggest breakthrough. But like I got the final breakthrough, like it was the wrap up.
Wow.
I can tell you in a nutshell. So I struggled. I remember the first time somebody in Rise of Kings, the guy was like, "Hey, I love you, brother," and I was like, "You can't love me, like you don't even know me." Right. But I realized, like I always say, like the Grinch's heart grew because I was like,
Yeah.
could he love me? And I
Mm-hmm.
realized that that could happen. I realized that I could love people back. September 5th, I realized that the love that I have for somebody could actually be, um, it could be used. Like they could take it and they could put it inside their heart
Mm-hmm.
on September
Mm-hmm.
5th. That
It's
was the
it's
final.
tangible. Yeah.
That was the final thing, dude. Like to bring that to, so for me to be loved, for me to show love, but then for my love to actually be used, that rocked my world, dude.
Mm.
Um, brought me the worth. Not that act brings me worth, but I realize like I am worthy of all of that, and I am worthy of God's love inside of all that. So it was a 5-year process uh, to get to that, man. But the community has changed my life through being able to set goals within integrity, and then having accountability of those goals just changed my world, man. I mean, I met with 5 guys this morning where we're all authentic. We all know, like, we know the
Mm.
deepest, darkest parts of our lives, and we stick in it and we stay. And I'm not going to cry. Uh,
Wow.
and I believe that we're created for that. We're created to belong, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're created to belong to our creator, but we're
Yep.
created to belong to people in our lives, man. We crave that. Like
Yep.
and I say we in Rise Up Kings, we want to say I. So I was created to belong. I was created to be in community. And I have that, like, I've never, Andrew's a part of that, right? Like, Andrew's one of those guys that, he's a part of that journey. So,
Oh,
yeah.
man, Greg, thanks so much for sharing. That's so cool. I think it's interesting because a lot of times I think men in particular struggle with some of the stuff you're communicating. And it does. It takes, I couldn't be a Christian completely on my own. I need brothers around me who are going to push me and hold me accountable and encourage me and love me. And I think what you said, it takes experiencing that and then just believing that it's true and accepting it.
Yeah.
Similar to what you said about your coach with the gym, it's like, man, you got someone that holds you accountable and can help you take a few next steps that you probably wouldn't have been able to do on your own.
Yep.
I think community is just so, so, so powerful.
Yeah. Oh, for me, my Rise Up journey, I will tell you the number one thing has been the community and
Mm-hmm.
across the nation, right? I have a fantastic community of Ruck guys in Arizona. We meet regularly, but
Mm-hmm.
I also have a community across the nation, man, that I never, of men that will challenge me and love me when I'm hurt. Sometimes they'll kick my butt, right? When I think
Yeah.
I'm hurt, but I'm not really hurt. Um, yeah, dude, I mean, so, and I always, something that I say, so I believe that a lot of people have a desire to transition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like I want to become this, but do we have the ability to have the paradigm shift? Because we wake up in the same world that right? Like, I didn't come home from Rise Up Kings and my wife was like, in pearls and high heels and was like, "Hi, honey," right? Like,
Right.
she was the same person I left. The
Mm-hmm.
paradigm shift
Mm-hmm.
was me.
Yep.
Me.
Yep.
All me, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Why am I blanking his name? There's a Christian author, but essentially he says if you want to change the world, the first thing you should do is change yourself. And I'm like,
Yep.
man, or maybe the other way he said it was like, if someone asks you like what is wrong with the world, your response is I am. Like it's
Mhm.
taking ownership for yourself first because it's so easy to point everyone else's flaws out when it's like, wait a second, have you done an audit of your own heart? Like, where are you at and how are you living?
Yeah. Well, and Rise Up Kings helped me do that. I always tell people so in our faith, family, fitness, finance pillars, they helped pull me out of my life and look down and look at it and be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, wow, you weigh 285 pounds. Oh, wow, you're doing really good here, but this isn't so good," right? Like, it helped me brought me out of my life and was able to look at it from a completely different perspective. But yeah, man, if I desire change, it comes from me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is,
So good, man.
yeah. So I'm excited for you to go and hear about your journey in it all.
I
Can't wait.
know. We'll have to. We'll have to jump on another podcast, or I'll shoot you a text or something about how it goes.
Yeah,
I'm,
I'd love
I'm,
that.
I'm super pumped. It's gonna be big.
I want to interview you for your podcast after you go to Rise of Kings.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, that'll be a good episode. Well, want to respect your time. Like I said, maybe just kind of wrapping up here. Anything I usually like to ask each guest this. So I talk to business owners. All day long. Anything you want to leave the audience with? It could be a piece of advice for a younger guy like me. It could be a Bible verse, a quote to live by. The floor is yours. So whatever you want to leave the audience with.
Man, I appreciate your time and I appreciate the questions. I I would I would encourage the audience as we interact with other people, can we leave those people in a better spot than we found them through the power of God working through us? Nothing we did, but can we have that interaction and can we I want to leave that conversation and then thinking, wow, like what just happened? Like I feel better. I feel motivated. I encourage each person. I'm huge on discipleship, mentorship, two kind of different things. But yeah, I want to encourage other people, pour into other people, and help them step into everything that God has called them to be.
I love that. That's so good. Well, Greg, man, this was a lot of fun. Like I said, maybe stay on for a couple more minutes here and we'll talk a few more things, but really appreciate you coming on the show, and I hope this was fun for you.
It was great. Thank you. I appreciate being here.